Let's fight, folks. Let's fight. Welcome in the ring. Happy Tuesday. Wherever you're joining us from, on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube, welcome in the ring to each and every one of you. And we're privileged to have you here with us, guys. Welcome in the ring. Welcome. We're so happy that you guys are here. Welcome, guys. Welcome. Good to see each and every one of you. Let's get ready. Hope you guys are great wherever you're joining us from this evening. Hope you guys are great wherever you're joining us from this evening. It's our privilege to have each and every one of you with us this evening. Great to have you guys with us. Let's get ready to rumble, folks. Good to have all of you guys. Don Raymond, all the usual suspects. Simone Burry and Ernest Elliott. Nadia Seaford, good to see you, Nadia. Nadira Sukraj, good to see you, Nadira. That's a new name for me. I don't know how long Nadira has been following us. Aliyah Ali, I saw you there. Elka Cadogan Dean. My pal, my buddy, my friend from long. Elka, how you doing, my sister? Good to see you. Give my regards to Kester as well. Kester Dean, or better known as Kester D. Good to see you, Elka. Happy to have you ringside this evening. Folks. We gotta fight. They're telling us not to fight, but we gotta fight, folks. We gotta fight. Let's get ready, folks. Let's get ready to fight. We got to fight. We know what we gotta do. Let me play this bell once more for Elka. Good to see all you great folks in the ring this evening. Denise Welchman, Alexis Arthur. Good to see you there, Alexis. And I know Alexis is joining us from Wickenham. And I want to say a big good night and shout out to all the Wickenham folks, Alexis Arthur and their entire family, the entire village, the entire community of Wickenham. Beautiful place. Love it there in Wickenham. Love me some Wickenham. Good to see Winston Granada joining us from Brooklyn, New York. Winston, Grenadian Island Extra. Granada. Good to see you, Winston. Blossom Fraser and Gwyneth Jones. I see Angel Wade is watching us as well. Good night to Angel. Good night to Atala, Wade, Duncan, wifey. Good to see all of you folks tuned in. Albert Morgan as well. Good to see Stacy Wade and Edward Wade watching us there from Region 5, Yeovil, the Bestville. Good to see you there, my in-laws, all the folks in Region 5, number 28, Bushlot, all those fantastic places. Rosignol. Good to see you folks there in Region 6, New Amsterdam, Corriverton, all those fantastic places. Good to see Diane Lewis Gittins joining us this evening, and Albert Morgan, Naomi Morris present. Good to see you, Naomi. Folks, you know, when you come on, what we got to do, we got to share the live stream. And I am making sure I got my notes ready. I start talking to y'all. I ain't even open my notes yet. Y'all see story here? And I'm asking y'all to head up. I got my notes, but I ain't got it open. I don't have it open. Folks, so privileged to have all of you here with us this evening. Fantastic night to each and every one of you. Coretta Braffett from Linden. Coretta Braithwaite. Folks, I tell you, a little extra. Good to see Candy, Naleen Inderjeet, and Mark Crawford. Good to see Mark Crawford there from Region 6. Candy, Naleen Inderjeet. Good to see all of you fantastic folks ringside tonight. Coretta Braffett, all the way from Linden, the mining town of Linden. Folks, that's my tongue. I was born in Linden, just in case y'all know. So if y'all want to know where I get my little virago this from, where I get my little fighting spirit from, is Linden I from? I want y'all know that. Bauxite, mining town, Linden in your skin. Was born at Mackenzie Hospital. Shout out to all the nurses there at beautiful Mackenzie Hospital and all of the health centers and all the hospitals there. Wisma Hospital. Good to see all of you folks. Good evening to all of you guys. Welcome in the ring, Claudine LaRose Duqua. A very good evening to Margaret Nelson, right out of Charleston, South Carolina. Good to have you with us. Margaret Nelson, again from Charleston, South Carolina. Alexis Arthur, as I said earlier on, from Wickenham. Good to see you there, Alexis. and Gail Alicock. Gail, how are you doing tonight? Gail. Good to see you, Gail Alicock, joining us, folks. Claudine is joining us from Kokwani. And I heard there was a lockout of teachers there in Kokwani. Claudine, I know you holding down the fort for us there in Kokwani. Claudine LaRose Dukwa, good to see you, Claudine. I see Orwin Don Cook as well is with us. Onessa Wardine. I see Burn Real and Proper Clark. Burn Real and Proper Clark. Folks, I love these fancy names. Burn Real and Proper Clark. Good to have all of you guys in the ring. Mary Fraser, Nicole Yaw, all of you fantastic people, welcome in the ring. And folks, if you're new to us, you know when you come in the ring, you got to share the live stream, share it back to your profile, share it back to your pages, share it back wherever y'all come from. Wendy Denny, Lisa Pitt, Yolanda Moore, Pinky Alicock, all the Alicocks, Denny's, London Welchman, Cheryl Gillis, all you fantastic folks, share the live stream. Sister Mercy, good to see you, Sister Mercy from Brooklyn, New York. I see we have some folks out of St. Lucia. Joylyn Cook is joining us from the west side. I also recognize Christelle Brandt Richards. Pardon me, somebody get spot. Mrs. Richards joining us from New York. Good to see you, Christelle. Fantastic artist. And Christelle, listen to me. I put you on the spot. You got to come a night, set yourself up, set your mic, set your music, and come and do something nice for us. Come and do a nice piece for us. We need that in this country. We need something uplifting in our spirits. So Christelle Brandt Richards, Mrs. I'm putting you on the spot there. Get your body ready. Get your song ready. Get your old voice. I know you got an old voice. You got a voice of an angel. I see Elizabeth Williams. Big shout out to all the brands there in Brooklyn, New York. All the brands in Guyana as well. Rowena Cummins, good to see you as well. Oswald Elias, good to see you there, Oswald. Diane Gravesandi and Sandra Arjun. Folks, it's all this time I call in names, about 8 minutes now I call in register. Good to see all of you folks. I see, is it Aristobellas, Azorio Alcahim, Aristobellas Azorio Alcahim, fancy name. Oswald Elias, good to see you as well. All of you fantastic folks joining us from around the world. Good to have each and every one of you with us. I know some folks joining us from Asia, some folks joining us from Africa, some from Australia, North America, South America, as far as Antarctica. Folks, Guyanese just there, you know. Any part of the world, like Christelle Brandt Richards, they're just there. They're just there. I see somebody watching me from Region 11. I recognize also Angela McDonald. I see Angela's there, Donna Liverpool, Raul Brando is there as well. Raul Brando, Ramatar, Angela McDonald, Robin Orain, all you fantastic folks. Michelle McKay, all of you great people there. I see Angela Abrams Waite and Derek Smith, Deborah Simon. I see Yasmin Henry, Clive Jackson. I see Neil Diamond Star, Asani Bowman. Folks, I still calling register. All of you fantastic folks. Yvette. Good to see you, Yvette from Connecticut. You know who you be. Yvette. Good to see you there. Sharma A. Court, Michael James, all you fantastic folks. Nicole Jones. Beautiful people. And you guys know, as you come into the ring, Candy Blair and Andrew Cuthbert, we got to share the live stream. We got to share. And you know, as you're sharing, folks, they say we bad, you know. They say we bad. There meet nobody in this world like Ringsiders. We fight to the finish. We fight to the death. And so, Ringsiders, you know, by this time, you're getting your popcorn and your cokes and you're assembling in the trenches. We're assembling in the trenches, folks, and we know what we got to do when we're in the trenches. We're assembling in the trenches, folks. We got to fight. Because we know the trenches are going to come in the trenches, in the comment section, and they're going to throw the punches. They're going to throw their misinformation, but I know y'all going to dismantle them. Y'all going to dismantle the ideology. Y'all going to dismantle the fake and false thinking, all the false premise. That's how we fight. And then when we go to a higher plane, Where we go to a higher plane, you all know we now moving into that higher plane. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against who? Principalities and powers. Yep, principalities and powers. That's when we go to the next level. That's when we escalate to the other level and we bring all the big guns. Good to have all you folks. So ringsiders, assemble in the trenches. Assemble in the trenches. Who in the trenches tonight ready for the battle? Who in the trenches ready for the fight? Who in the trenches ready for the fight? We got to fight, folks. You think these people can just roll over? No. That's the strong man. They're not going to roll over. Oren Baker. I see Patricia, Asana, and Chevron Cumberbatch. Destiny. I see you in a little bit, girl. Destiny, I ain't see you in a little bit. What happening? Talk to me. Andrew Cuthbert and Candy Blair. Good to see you there, Candy. All you fantastic folks. As you come on the live stream, you know you got to share the live stream. Assemble in the trenches. Assemble in the trenches to dismantle the trenches. Good to see you there, Leslyn Alves, Bettino Nichman. Again, Josie Wales, fancy names. Filio Asang, good to see you, Filio. It's Lisa. Good to see you. Folks, it's Lisa. Cheryl Gillis, good to see all of you fantastic people. Rudy Hines, and Marilyn Seaford. Folks, great to see each and every one of you. I am so excited to head into the hot topics tonight. I am fired up, folks, and I am ready to get me into some hot topics. Are you guys ready tonight? Are you guys ready for us to get into the hot topics? Folks, it is Unplugged Tuesday, and I know my guests, they're going to come and they're going to unplug on some issues that are very near and dear to them because we see what's happening in our country. We see what's happening in our country. And if you guys who are in the diaspora are so passionate, about what's happening back home, imagine how we feel. We got to take back our country, folks. We got to take back our government from these Nakavakamites, from these Philistines, from these Jebusites. We got to take back our country. You guys see the direction it is going in? We got to take our country back, folks. I want to see those emojis. What is the mood out there tonight? How are you guys feeling out there in social media land, in the Twitterverse, in the Facebook sphere? How are you guys feeling there on YouTube? I want to see those emojis. Folks, I really want to see those emojis tonight. Deanne Britton and all you other folks, Heavenly Faith and Viola Robinson, Oswina, Candy Smith, all of you fantastic folks out there. I don't know about you, but I am ready to get into the hot topics tonight. I am ready. You got to put your gloves up, folks. It's fight time. I'm ready to see what's on the fight card. Ready to get right into the hot topics this evening. Let's see what's on the fight card tonight. I know a couple things got to be on the fight card, folks. All right. And I am ready to get to it. Folks, let's see what's on the fight card for this evening. And we turn our attention right away to some international news, folks, to some international news. And we are looking to see what is happening in Canada. And we fast. And we got people in Canada. You think we got folks in Canada? We got folks in Canada like Selena Fraser. And all the other folks there. We got some folks in Canada, and we're following what is happening with this election. Out of Canada, we see that Justin gone back. Justin Trudeau, he has won a third term. Is my math correct? He has won a third term. But his second government, as a minority government, I see lots of folks in the diaspora saying that this gamble that Justin Trudeau just played didn't pay off. He thought he would have been going back with a bigger majority, with a majority period. He thought he would have gotten a bounce out of his management of the COVID-19 at that end. But the folks are not having it. And you guys in Canada certainly can tell us some more of why Justin came up short. Justin came up short. And so you folks are familiar with the times when we win, but we still lose. We win, but we still lose. That seems like the PPP to me. They win, but every day. Win in terms of being in government. But every day they want Harman to recognize them as a legitimate government. They didn't think they really win. And we know that that is true. They didn't really win. They went on valid votes. Right? And just like Ramatar, Justin got a minority government. And we know what happened with minority governments. They don't stay too long. But we wish Justin and his team the best. And coming out of that election victory just last evening, folks, this is what the Prime Minister of Canada said.
I hear you when you say that you just want to get back to the things you love, not worry about this pandemic or about an election, that you just want to know that your members of Parliament of all stripes will have your back through this crisis and beyond.
And let me play that once more, just in case we didn't get that audio there. We're going to play it once more for you guys.
I hear you when you say that you just want to get back to the things you love, not worry about this pandemic or about an election, that you just want to know that your members of Parliament of all stripes will have your back through this crisis and beyond.
Yeah, certainly, the Prime Minister there was hoping for a bigger victory, but I guess a win is a win, and we move on, folks. Next on the fight card, oh, Father, is the puppet presidency. You know it's a puppet presidency. The trenches know it's a puppet president. I don't know why they're fooling themselves. Dennis Cummins knows a puppet presidency. Valder Robinson knows a puppet presidency. Charlene Duke watching us. Paulette Hawk Kippins knows a puppet presidency. And every day, when the confusion powder of a country, we have another installment. And so we saw just recently, Jack Dio apparently had to hold Irfan's hand to the UN. He had to hold Irfan's hand to the UN. So another installment of the puppet presidency. Another installment, ladies and gentlemen, of the puppet presidency. Where are you joining us from? It's another installment of it. And we're following. We are following quite closely. We are made to understand, folks, that Ali talking Thursday, well, I am waiting with bated breath for that presentation. I am waiting with bated breath for that presentation. And we are going to unpack it. As my colleague Randolph Critchlow says, we are going to unpack that presentation, ladies and gentlemen. But a lot of stuff happening. We saw there at the UN today, Ali was meeting with the president of Ghana, Nana Addo Akufo-Addo, long name, Nana Addo Danwa Akufo-Addo, the president of Ghana. He was having what they call bilateral engagements, bilateral meetings on the sideline of the opening of the UN General Assembly. But strange enough, like Irfan only good for bilateral meetings. But this is what you see in a puppet presidency. So here on the sidelines of the opening of the General Assembly there at the UN, Irfan having a meeting with Addo, but Jack Dio has been announced as the person who is leading a delegation to Ghana. Jack Dio leading a delegation to Ghana. So Irfan can't go to Ghana? Boy, you have to get a Canadian visa to go to Ghana. We don't know if he get back a Canadian visa yet. Irfan can't go to Ghana. So you had Santoki who came, met with Irfan, and then it was Jack Dio just recently who led a delegation to Suriname. Y'all see the puppet presidency? Folks, y'all better share this live stream. The guys must be laughing us in the international community. When they see stuff like this, they must be laughing at us. They must be laughing us to scorn. And just yesterday, Ladies and gentlemen, just yesterday, we said that Irfan, somebody got to teach Irfan the protocols of wearing a suit. Because he ain't getting it. He is not yet, he ain't taking learning. He ain't taking learning. Is either then teaching that at Eiffel University or when he went UG and he followed before he finished. They said he followed in second year UG. Well, you know who don't make it at UG is go Eiffel University. He ain't take the course. When you stand up, you're supposed to button your suit. Man, Ado, teach him something, the man. Nano, Ado, Danwo, Akufo, Ado. Teach Irfan something, the man. When you stand up, you button your suit jacket. Unless you're too big and the thing can't meet. You button your suit jacket. Come on, Irfan. You're on the international stage. Act accordingly, the man. You're on the international stage. Represent me, the man. Don't embarrass me like that. You button your suit. You button your jacket. Huh? And you know, people got a little way. If you don't know how to operate, you look and see what other people doing and you follow suit. No pun intended. You follow suit. So when you look around the room, Irfan, and you see everybody got the jacket button, you button your jacket too. If you know to eat with knife and fork and you at the big table and you watch and see what people picking up. Watch and see what the proper people picking up and you follow. Don't embarrass me like that on the international stage. So Jack Dio goes to Ghana. Jack Dio goes to Ghana. And Irfan Ali will be home alone. Here in the trenches. Moving on, folks, it's crisis. It's a crisis on the COVID front home. It's a crisis on the COVID front home, ladies and gentlemen, and things aren't getting better at all. Things are not getting better, and I want you guys to share the live stream. The international community needs to hear this. The diaspora needs to hear this. Region 11 needs to hear this. Audrey Tom, I hope you're hearing. Gillian Ferguson, Don Raymond, Paulette Hicks, Maxine McDonough. I hope you guys hearing. Brian Soka, share this live stream. So it's a crisis on the COVID front here. Last night, folks, I told you, Frank can know too much. Frank doesn't know too much. And that is part of the reason why we're in this mess that we're in. Frank is part of the reason. Full of incompetence. Full to the brim and running over. So the CDC yesterday said, the CDC says persons who are traveling internationally now should be vaccinated by a regime of recognized drugs internationally, recognized vaccines internationally. If you have not taken one of those recognized vaccines, then you have to take a couple of weeks and take the vaccines, and then you can travel. That is on this recognized list. Frank, he don't understand that. Frank is telling the Center for Disease Control, that international, he don't understand. He want me to unpack that and break it down for him. And I told you, this is a government that don't seem to understand a lot of things. Priya was asked, what is the legality of locking teachers out of school? She said she didn't study for the question. Refer to the AG. And I told you guys, at his last press conference, Jack Dio was asked a question about a cabinet decision. He said, he don't go to cabinet meetings plenty. You all understand why this country in confusion? You get a sense why we are where we are? Folks, y'all better share this live stream. Y'all better share this live stream. And so the CDC just today again came out and said, no travel to Guyana because of the pervasiveness. You see, I put up the language a little bit. The pervasiveness of COVID-19, the ubiquitousness of COVID-19 is all over, especially the variant. And so the CDC has said, if you don't have a reason to travel to Guyana, do not go there. Do not go there. They say, if you have to go, Make sure you're fully vaccinated. So the CDC, this is the Center for Disease Control. There's a lot that these hypocrites and vipers are not telling us. They are not being straight with this country. And so the CDC, this is not the APNU AFC. This is the Center for Disease Control internationally. Has blacklisted our country. Said, don't go there. COVID out of control. Do not go there. COVID, ladies and gentlemen, is out of control. That is what they're telling us. That is what the CDC is telling us. And while we have that on the international front, hear what Frank said just today, among other things. This is what Frank is telling us. He said that we may have underestimated the COVID numbers because people are not getting tested. Underestimated. So if you think there are 30,000 persons who are COVID positive, it could be 60 or 90. The Minister of Health told the nation today, we have underestimated COVID numbers because people are not getting tested. I thought they said they're doing thousands upon thousands of tests. So how come it is now that people are not being tested or not getting tested? According to one report, ladies and gentlemen, it says here that September has had the highest number of COVID-19 infections, yet the Minister of Health says that the number of people actually infected with COVID-19 could be much higher since people are not opting to get tested. He said that the limited COVID-19 testing in most regions might signal that the reports of the number of people infected are artificially low and are underestimated. And folks, we have a huge incidence of COVID-19 here, COVID positive persons. And so if those are conservative figures, which we have said all the time, we feel that they are fiddling with the numbers, we gone. And so just today, you had 5 more COVID deaths, taking the country's total to 738. And we had 141 new cases of COVID-19 in the last 24 hours. And so there are 3,680 active cases of COVID-19 and 30 persons in the ICU. And Frank Anthony, the incompetent Minister of Health, is saying that those numbers could be underestimated, could be conservative. And while that is happening, ladies and gentlemen, oh my Lord. Well, if you all see what's happening in the schools, if you all see what is happening in the schools, over 22 schools have already closed because either teachers are COVID-19 positive or students are COVID-19 positive. Over 22 schools and counting. Over 22 schools and counting. The incompetent Minister of Education says some of these are panic closing. Because the teachers are scared, the school administration is scared if they hear a parent or a student or a fellow teacher has COVID-19. They hurry quick and close the school. It's panic closing. But that they have issued certain protocols, like isolating the students, sanitizing the area. Business must go on as usual. That is the aim of this country. The status quo must remain at all costs. The status quo, ladies and gentlemen, must remain at all costs. And as I said to you, there have been a number of additional schools since that last list that I gave to you. For instance, ladies and gentlemen, y'all better share this live stream. In addition to that list, we can report that North Georgetown Primary is closed. Lenora Primary is closed. Maria's Pleasure is closed. This is in Wickenham, if I remember correctly. Arapaima Nursery School in Region 9 is also closed. Hopetown Primary has some suspected cases, and they are awaiting the results of some tests. And let me correct this. The penultimate thing I said it. Arapaima Primary has some suspected cases as well, and they're awaiting word from the ministry whether they should close or not. Whether they should close or not. And folks, we are receiving word that the COVID protocols are kicking in certain places now, like the fire service. The Guyana Fire Service will be enforcing the COVID protocols from Monday. What does that mean? What does that mean for you? That could be a good question. The fire service says no blue book, no vaccination card, no entry. No vaccination card, no entry. So if your house burning down and you don't see the fire service turn up, it might be because the fireman outside the fire service gate and cannot enter. If your business on fire and you don't see the fire engine turn up, the fire tender, it could be because the fire service folks have been locked out because they're exercising their constitutional right. My body, my choice. And I don't want the vaccine. And folks, we encourage everybody who wants the vaccine to take it. But nobody should be forced to take it. As many persons who want the vaccine should take it. But nobody should be forced to take it. We are not saying by any means, don't take the vaccine. We have consistently said on this program, get all the information and make an intelligent decision where the vaccines are concerned. And today we saw teachers locked out at Kokwani. We saw teachers locked out also at 1 Mile Linden, among other places. Among other places, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to continue to monitor that. Moving on very quickly, guys, as you guys share the live stream here on the program, Now, Pauline. Lots of people want to have Pauline okay. Pauline Sukai, Minister of Amerindian Affairs. Used to be Indigenous Affairs, but they are like the Amerindian Affairs. Now today, ladies and gentlemen, Pauline saw a correspondence on social media or somewhere. And Pauline didn't read it. She just posted. She just posted, ladies and gentlemen. Minister of Amerindian Affairs. You know, enough of them drop out of school early, you know. Now, this was the minister. Pauline, she's an installed minister, but this was the Jagabat who took $1 million, I think it was. Or was it $2 million to fix her mouth? Taxpayers' money. Taxpayers' money. That's how she got the name Alien Mouth. Because Sukai's, Pauline's dental work is costing as much as some vehicles. $2 million in dental work. And so Pauline just saw this thing and posted. We didn't know if Pauline and took her medication or what have you. She saw a document on social media and she just posted it. But what was the document? Folks, look madness. Look madness. Here's story here now. All right. You know, I don't know how some people get minister work. How some people get minister work. Here's story here. Me know how people get minister work. Look what Pauline post. And she was excited to post it. She was beside herself to post it. Here's story here. Are we blocking anything with the graphic there? Oh, it was a media release. Here's story. This is what Pauline post. It was something from the Ministry of Education of Trinidad and Tobago. No relation to us. Folks, I'll share in the live stream. Let people see some of the mad people we got here in government. Gear up secondary school students, but it's something that doesn't concern us here. Trinidad post a media release, which read, ladies and gentlemen, Ministry of Education wishes to advise that secondary schools throughout Trinidad and Tobago will be physically reopened on August 4th, 2021 for fully vaccinated students of Form 4 to 6 for both teaching and practical sessions. I don't know if Sukai is a minister in Trinidad and Tobago. I don't know, but don't concern me. As far as I know, don't concern me. Well, if Sukai take 2 million to fix your mouth, how much are I gonna cost? How much Sukai I gonna cost taxpayers? That is what I want to know. You see the kind of mad people we have here? If that is how much Sukai take to fix your mouth, if we got to fix Sukai, I know. Ladies and gentlemen, how much is that going to cost us? How much? Signs of the times. Signs of the times. Not Sukai alone. A lot of people going cuckoo. Signs of the times, ladies and gentlemen. A baby was chopped to death today. And our thoughts and prayers go out with the family of this child chopped to death. And I want to read the account out of Trinidad, because that is where the incident occurred, in Trinidad and Tobago. In Trinbago, I want to give you some of what it said there. I want to give you some of that. And here is what it said. It said that over 24 years of domestic abuse suffered by a Tarodale family, culminated in the killing of one of their youngest children, a 1-year-old girl, during a bloody cutlass attack on Sunday night by a rejected lover. Little Soraya Williams, who celebrated her first birthday in June, was chopped on the head. She was chopped on the head. My God. My God. And forehead as she sat in the lap of her grandmother. Soraya's grandmother, Michelle Williams, and mother, Nikita Williams, used their bodies as human shields over the infant as the man repeatedly swung the cutlass at them in the gallery of their home in Scion Drive, Phase 1. As she tried to fend off the cutlass, Michelle, 50, was chopped to her right wrist, and 2 fingers were chopped and fractured on her left hand. Signs of the times. What is more, folks? What is more? I'll just read a small additional piece. Michelle Williams being comforted by one of the granddaughters, a photograph shows. The man retreated only after relatives and neighbors went after him upon hearing the screams of the family. He hid in a room until police arrived at the scene. The police detained a 58-year-old painter, a Guyanese national, in connection with the killing. Police detained, ladies and gentlemen, a 58-year-old painter, a Guyanese national, in connection with the killing. Signs of the times. Folks, signs of the times. And folks, till this evening for the main event, our thoughts and prayers go out to that family. Our thoughts and prayers go out to that entire Williams family. I can imagine the shock that family, and hurt and anguish that family must be in now. Our thoughts and our prayers go out to each and every one of them. I think I have MP Christopher Jones ready for the main event this evening, and I think I also have Ganesh Mahipaul ready. I hope I can see Ganesh face. We don't want anybody joining us just by audio. We ain't got no teeth we deal with here. We want to see people full face. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's wait for Ganesh to join us via video, and we're going to have Christopher Jones with us. Chris, how are you doing, my brother?
Not bad at all, Sharon. Good evening to the viewers.
Great to see you at your end. Chris, so much happening in our country.
Mm-hmm.
So much happening in our country. It's like we don't even know where to start with some of this.
Exactly.
So much.
Exactly.
And we are hoping that you can help make sense of some of it, because you're on the ground daily, not only as the opposition chief, but as a member of parliament and as a citizen in this country, and you understand what is happening on the ground, Chris. And so maybe we can take it from, let's start from what's happening overseas. We see this puppet presidency on full display. Oh, Judge, you're like a shadow. He ain't giving Earphone a chance on the international scene. What happening here, Chris?
You know, one of the photograph that you published earlier, Sharon, actually has Robert Prasad and Irfan Ali a back of Bharat Jagdeo as he was greeted, one of the foreign persons there. But if you look at the expression on both Irfan Ali and Robert Prasad's face, that alone is telling a story. It appears that Irfan Ali is asking Robert Prasad, why you bring this man here? And Robert Prasad looked back at him and his expression says, like, you realize this is the man that running the show, you know? And, you know, a lot of the foreign leaders who are currently there in New York, in Manhattan, are very much aware of what is happening in Guyana in terms of Irfan Ali and his presidency. They know for certain that he's not. Case in point, Bharat Jagdeo just returned from Suriname. As you know, the Suriname president led a delegation here in Guyana. And speaking to one of the officials there from Suriname, they said that nothing was achieved in Guyana with the visit that they made here because of what was happening in Mexico. And it is noteworthy to remind your viewers that what was happening in Mexico was that Bharat Jagdeo was in Mexico. And when
Yes.
Bharat came back to Guyana, Bharat Jagdeo then had to travel to Suriname to
For the official
engage the
state
Suriname
visit.
for the
For the
official
official state visit.
Correct.
Chris,
Correct.
we're joined by MP Ganesh Mahipaul this evening, and I should alert viewers that Ganesh is also a member of the Public Accounts Committee, a very important committee in Parliament. Those persons who are joining us around the world. Ganesh, welcome.
Thanks, Sherrod. Thanks for having me. And good night to yourself and Chris, and of course to your faithful viewers.
Great. On the home front, and Ganesh, I'll give you a chance to talk on what has been happening internationally with this UN visit. It seems as though, you know, Irfan can't catch a break. Irfan, like, he got on training wheels, so his hands got to be held, and, you know, you got to get his bottle in his mouth and all these various things.
Yeah, well, I don't know what is it that we can expect from the visit other than us wasting taxpayers' money, because it seems as though he can't achieve anything. And it just seems as though we're heading nowhere with him at the helm there. And I am not sure what is it that he is going to say in terms of to our people. And when he comes back, what is it that we can expect in terms of anything different other than the confusion that currently exists in our country? And the confusion seems to continue, and he is not focused on fixing the broken sides of our country, but rather gallivanting all over the place, changing his suit. I see he took your advice in one of the pictures, but I see he still continues the same way. But I don't know what.
In checking learning. So Jagdeo has just let us state visit to Suriname. He's coming back now to go to Ghana. He's going to Ghana next month. What happened to Irfan? Irfan doing on state visits?
He can't go Ghana. He can't go there without Bharat Jagdeo.
So it's madness. And then we see closer to home now. My God, folks, it's purgatory. I don't know how else to describe it. It's confusion powder. It is protest after protest after protest. Look what's happening with the sugarcane workers. I thought they said that they had solved that problem. They met and they had an agreement with the people from Albion, but I see the cane cutters are still out there. You know, we see what's happening in Essequibo. We see what's happening in other places. They don't have a handle on domestic affairs. And then you have two fifth wheel to a coach. You have Phillips and you got Teixeira.
But Sherrod, we have to also focus on the hypocrisy of the way, in terms of the way they have handled the sugarcane workers versus the nurses and teachers. And I think that is very appalling, to say the least. One would have expected them to treat everybody with equity and some degree of respect. I mean, they have C. Paul Narain there brokering a deal, but what happened is Coretta MacDonald, who is also a GTU representative, not capable of brokering a deal in terms of bringing some degree of relief to the teachers. And are the nurses and doctors not equally important as the sugar workers? Everybody should be treated with some degree of respect. And I think people should pay some degree of attention to the unscrupulous manner in which this administration has handled the various protest actions. And as soon as the sugarcane workers down tool, it was a different approach altogether. It is duplicitous and hypocritical.
But I think at the same time too, we have to remind your viewers that when it came to the two budget that was passed in the National Assembly, and the people boast about the two largest budget ever. To date, the public servants have not received a single cent, whereas the sugar workers have received two increases in wages and salary. So that alone answers the question in terms of how they treat public servants as opposed to sugar workers, because they see the sugar workers as essentially a political tool that they have to use, that they benefit from when it comes to election time. And of course, the ethnicity of the two groups is nothing new to anybody. We are quite aware of it. So we know exactly what is at play. And that's why when we talk about political and racial discrimination in Guyana, it is so blatant that those with the jaundiced eyes can see that is racial and political discrimination in this country.
And so you have that. You have a multitude of protests happening on the ground. Again, Phillips and Teixeira are known quantities. Nothing is going to be achieved through them. And then you see there's the other front, the police force. I mean, like, I haven't seen nothing like what's occurring in the police force in the last 5 years. I know the trenches won't want to hear that, the jagabats won't want to hear that, but it is the facts. What the hell is happening in the police force?
Sharon,
What's happening there?
let me first of all, and I must do this. There are police men and women who are serving us with distinction. There are policemen and women who are doing a fantastic job in terms of what I see, managing the traffic, especially from the Demerara Harbor Bridge onto the East Bank and into Georgetown. And I want to salute those officers. They stand in the scorching sun and they direct the traffic and they try their best to ease it. But you see, sometimes it is necessary for us to respect and to give credit where it is due to some of these officers who are doing an extraordinary job. But then at the top of the police force, there is where the problem lies, because they are subjecting themselves to political directives, and that is causing them to send down orders that sometimes these very police officers are not comfortable in terms of executing. But they gotta live and they don't want to lose their job. They don't want to know that their salary will be cut or they will be sanctioned or disciplined for not following orders. And sometimes they do most of these things outside of what their conscience tell them to do. And I pity that. But it has a lot to do with the people at the top and how they send down these instructions. Look at what happened in Essequibo with the SWAT team. It is not just
I
Oren
was coming
Gordon
there.
who suffered. It is not just him who suffered. Unfortunately, who died. He died, which is very, very serious, and I don't think that should be left unturned. Um, I think there should be an international inquiry into the death of Oren Gordon because he was a
But
business person. He had an influence in his community. He provided employment for people, and he was recognized and loved by his family. And the same way how all the other persons that we conducted inquiries for, the same way we should conduct an inquiry for him, because his life matters too. And there is no way the country can have faith in the police investigating the police. The Office of Professional Responsibilities that is tasked with the responsibility of conducting these investigations, I don't think people have faith in them. And that is why it requires international assistance and it should be most welcoming. But that same SWAT team that conducted that raid and came out with only a dead body also traumatized two other families, I'm told, in the Essequibo coast, one at Underneming. And I got that information just today. So clearly that SWAT team wreaked havoc in Essequibo. And it is very, very unfortunate that that has happened. And we must call them out for that kind of barbaric action. And we must also call out all the rogue elements of the Guyana police force and we must ask them to provide us with answers. There is a clear indication that Robertson Ben is not trusted by his own government because they themselves don't have any confidence in him after they would have established the regional task force under the disguise of the Guyana Defense Force. But my brothers, it is very, very sad the state that our country is in. It is very, very sad that we find ourselves in this predicament. And the only way out for me is to put the People's Progressive Party in a corner or in a barrel and roll them out to the Atlantic Ocean.
If
I
I
think
may,
I agree with
if I may, yeah, I will add right there. First, Sharon, let me just remind your viewers that this month, September, marked 1 year since the incident that occurred at my house, which involved the Ghana Police Force.
Oh
And
yeah.
I said
Happy
that to say this.
anniversary, Chris.
Well, I said that to say this, that essentially the People's Progressive Party Civic only know to rule with an iron fist. They only know to rule by brute force and ignorance. And the Ghana Police Force, under the 23 years under the People's Progressive Party Civic, that is exactly how they operate. They are used as a tool, that they are weaponized to carry out the political bidding of the People's Progressive Party Civic. You spoke earlier, Sharon, about protests all over the country. And the one way that dictatorship or dictators crush protests is by use of the Ghana police, well, it's used by police force. And we're seeing that. It is no secret that over these past couple of months, we have the largest number of people who are now unemployed. It is no secret that right now in the marketplace, the average Guyanese, the cost of living is soaring so high that the average Guyanese cannot afford
And
to
I
feed
wanna
their
I wanna
children
zero
every
in on
single
that
day.
just now, Chris. Right
Yeah,
there.
they can't afford to feed their children every single day. And the only resort is to vent their legitimate discontent. And that is by way of protest. So the police is used again by the PPP as a tool to crush any such protest. They will go into communities, predominantly African communities, and they will intimidate and threaten those communities. That is what happened in Dartmouth. It was not by accident. Dartmouth was targeted. Just today, there was another shooting in Leopold Street, another African community. And you will see that happening throughout the country because that is how the People's Progressive Party Civic can rule. The only way they know to rule is by using the Ghana Police Force to intimidate
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
bring fear into the community.
Yeah. Chris, as you're on, I hope those folks on your page sharing this live stream, those folks on the Christopher Jones Facebook page, and I hope all of you have taken the opportunity to share the live stream on that economic front. So we see what's happening socially, the protests, we see what's happening with COVID, we see what's happening with the police force in the public security sector. But economically, we saw the first budget last year, September. 329 billion, 329.5 billion. And they had a fancy team. Our plan for prosperity, protecting our people in a COVID-19 environment. How is that going? How are they going for y'all? Strengthening democracy. How are they going and the rule of law? Incentivizing economic growth. Well, that's for the private sector, friends. And job creation. How the job creation going, Ganesh? And enhancing welfare. That's September. The budget theme for this year was a 383.1 billion budget, was a path to recovery, economic dynamism, and resilience. How they going for y'all? Money is circulating?
That's right.
All the throwing
I don't
money
know.
left, right, and center. They cannot get the economy to move. Why is that? Besides the fact that there are crosses.
I don't know what you're talking about, Sherrod. There is economic dynamism in this country. There is a lot of economic dynamism in the clique of the People's Progressive Party. You see how they're looking good now? They're getting more money in their pockets.
Yeah, they're swelling up. They're big.
There is economic dynamism for them. And everybody who's sitting at home quietly and saying nothing, they're having economic dynamism too.
Yeah.
So unless the people stand up for what they believe in, unless the people make their representation, and
But clearly, Ganesh, there's no economic dynamism for public servants who 2 budgets later have not gotten any raise of pay. There's no economic dynamism for the private sector workers whose minimum wage is stuck at 40,000. There's no economic dynamism there. It's just those at the top.
That is why the public servants and the private sector workers, they have a brain of their own, like how you and I have ours. And there will come another election in this country, and they have factual evidence to compare and contrast the coalition's manner of governing and the PPP's manner of governing. And they will have to use their brain and recall that when the coalition came to office in 2015 and they had a first budget, there was an increase for all public servants. There was an increase in old age pension. There was an increase in disposable income, and people's their pockets were heavier
The
than it
trenches don't
was
want to hear
in
about
2014,
that. They
than
want
it
to hear that.
was
Let's
in
burn them.
2014.
Yeah.
And 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, there were significant salary increases. I remember at one time the private sector was complaining that y'all giving too much increases,
Yeah.
too much money you're putting in the public sector pockets. Public sector workers. There came 2020, we had a budget. I think in September, no salary increase for public servants. 2021, we still are waiting.
Yeah. And
That
that
these
installed minister, Joe Hamilton, talked about engaging the private sector to move that minimum wage from 44,200 to something livable. Something livable.
Listen,
Coming soon.
at the end of the day, before Chris comes in, I believe that the Guyanese people, we have the ability to make that deduction, to draw that comparison, and the facts can speak for itself. You and I and Christopher
It's so
Jones, we
factual.
don't have to defend the coalition anymore. As Chris said, the jaundice of eyes can see that the coalition is way better than this installed
Yeah.
regime.
But clearly, Pauline has seen a lot of things.
And all these charlatans that they have there, their time, their days are numbered. And the borrowed robes they have found themselves in, they will soon have to take it off and go back to where they came from where they were in 2015 and 2016.
Ganesh,
this time,
I hope you're not attacking that pantsuit that Gail had on yesterday at the swing in when he said borrowed ropes. I hope that is not a slight. That's not shade you're throwing there. Because we don't attack people on this program, especially females. Especially females. Go right ahead, Chris.
So just a few days ago, I think last week to be correct, we heard from Irfan Ali addressing the nation, marking International Day for Democracy. And he spoke at length about elections and former elections and previous elections and so forth. And you and Ganesh, all of us, been constantly saying that where democracy is concerned as it relates to the People's Progressive Party, it only relates to an election.
Yeah.
It doesn't speak for the PPP.
Yeah.
Democracy doesn't speak about good governance and inclusive governance and all of that. And I said that to say this, that essentially with those budgets that were allocated, those 700 plus billion of the taxpayers' dollars that were allocated, the People's Progressive Party Civic used those monies to reward their supporters by way of the COVID cash grant, in which you saw blatant racial and political discrimination across the length and breadth of this country. Then recently, they used those same monies, the taxpayers' monies, from those budgets, and they allocated monies to farmers. Now, we know a lot of our farmers across the length and breadth of the country suffered, but you had massive corruption in the allocation of those resources to the extent that I will very soon, in a few days, be sharing names of Canadian citizens who doesn't do any farming.
We got to expose them. We got to expose them.
And receive as much as $8 million from that same farmers grant that was happening there. Massive corruption.
Christian, on that note, there was widespread accusations. They're not accusations. There was widespread indictment of the PP government for that COVID-19 cash grant and even the flood relief corruption. So much so that Irfan himself asked for a forensic audit. Now, Ganesh friend, Deodat Sharma, the Auditor General, told this nation of big people, big people, his audit of the COVID cash grant is being hampered by COVID. Now you know, Chris, and you know, Ganesh, the trenches know, the Hepatites know, the Jagabats know, the Crosses know. If Granger buy a pen,
Yeah,
Deodat want to add it.
yeah,
Granger wear a new white shirt.
yeah.
Deodat Sharma want to add it. You understand me? And now COVID is preventing him from doing an audit of the COVID cash grant. All the more suspicion are being raised.
Sharon, Chris, let me
Go
say
ahead.
this before you go. As a member of the Public Accounts Committee, I am eagerly awaiting the 2020 Auditor General's report. I'm eagerly awaiting it. And I will get it. I will get it. I will have to get it. And we want to zoom in on the COVID cash grant. We want to zoom in on the education cash grant. And we want to zoom in on the farmers cash grant. But let me tell you something, and I'm going to say this here on your program. There is a young lady that works at the Auditor General's office, and she is the wife of the current senior minister within the office of the presidency with responsibility for finance. In other words, she's Ashni Singh's wife. And I am told, and I am told this in confidence from my source, but I must let you and your viewers know that Miss Singh plays an integral role in selecting the auditors that
Yes.
go out and conduct audits for the Auditor General.
Interesting. Interesting.
When I heard
Interesting.
this, I was put on pause because I had to process that information. First, what I seem to have a problem with is the seniority of this young lady in the Auditor General's office. Not that she's not qualified or competent. I do believe she's qualified and I do believe she's competent.
A conflict of interest.
Where does conflict of interest comes into play? Your husband is the Minister of Finance of this country.
Yep.
And the Auditor General's office is supposed to be responsible for the auditing of the state finances. And when you have people from within the Auditor General's office, auditors and staff members making contact with members of the Public Accounts Committee and other parliamentarians, and they're saying to us that this young lady is responsible to send out auditors, and then they make the claim that she selects who to go and do which audit. It begs the question as to the honesty of the report that comes out from the Auditor General's office. But I am not going to cast any aspersion or draw any conclusion as yet. Because
I can cast them and draw them.
I will too.
And the other members of PhD, Jordan Fitzgerald, Chairman David Paxton, and Director of Finance, we are well informed as to what is happening at that office. And we are awaiting the report. And I can assure you, Christopher Jones, and all your viewers, that big things will come out.
Yeah.
We will dissect it and we will make some revelations from it. Believe me, we are prepared to do it.
And Ganesh talking about big things. I like that you spoke about big things. Let me give our viewers around the world a little bonus talking about big things. I heard a minister building a big house in Pleasance. I heard a minister building a big fire house in Pleasance, in Sparandam to be particular, I'm trying to get the address at I think it's 101 or 110 Sparndam, and
Yeah,
instead the house, the trucks going in there is so big, it's mashing up the road. And I want us to take a look at that very briefly. They say it's a fire tail house down in that street. And we can get the name. Hold and we get some footage of the house. Hold on. But the point is big. It's a big house mashing up that street there. I hope Dale that Sharma watching and he sent somebody.
you know, if I could jump in on the same note with the Auditor General's office, listen, the corruption under the People's Progressive Party Civic in this country is so blatant. It is so blatant that you ask yourself the question why perhaps 4-6 months ago that you see wide cross-country protests that, and these protests should be calling for the People's Progressive Party Civic to demit office. Honestly, you can speak about the Auditor General's office. As far as I'm concerned, even if his wife is not the person who identifies the auditors to go and audit, the mere fact that she is in the office of the Auditor General, it is a conflict of interest. Your husband is the Minister of Finance, and your office is what audits the state funds. It is a conflict of interest. She should have recused herself, resigned immediately, and even on this program, we can call for her to immediately to demit office. She should not be there. You can talk about the DPP's office. And those, look, it is so blatant. It is so blatant. It is so blatant. You know, you just got to hold your tongue, Sharon.
I hear you, fellas. And guys, unfortunately, we're at program time. We gotta leave this exciting discussion there. But I got another bonus for my viewers. I don't want them to go anywhere. But MP Ganesh Mahipaul, MP Christopher Jones, Chief Whip.
COVID.
COVID.
And if I could quickly, the World Health Organization last week, Friday, met and had intense discussion as it relates to COVID and the vaccines across the country. And again, Sputnik V came up. Now, Sputnik V has been shot in the arm of over 100,000 Guyanese across the length and breadth of this country. As a result, those Guyanese cannot travel to Trinidad, Barbados, Canada. The United States will impose restriction on persons traveling to that country as in November. And those Guyanese who have Sputnik V will soon be on the blacklist. You cannot travel to the United States. The World Health Organization has advised persons who have taken Sputnik V vaccine that they should wait at least 28 days after the second dose, and then they should go and get another vaccine in their arm. This takes us back to what we have said on this program and many other programs before, and what the leader of the opposition called for earlier this year, that the government should put a halt on the Sputnik V vaccine. And the government held fast. They never took that seriously, and they continue to put Sputnik V in the arms of Guyanese. As we stand now, over 100,000 Guyanese who have Sputnik V vaccine can't travel to different parts of the world. Further to that, I lost the point. Apology. Oh, further to that. Now, we are pushing as a country, like many other countries, to obtain herd immunity. And we were told up to like a few weeks ago that we have some 400,000+ people who have taken the vaccine. Now you minus that 100,000+ who have received Sputnik V vaccine. That means we're down to about 300,000. So we're nowhere close to herd immunity. And we wouldn't get there anytime soon, because it was a challenge, one, to get people to take the vaccine. Now you have to go back and say to them that, listen, if you took Sputnik V, you have to take another vaccine. It's a crisis. brought upon the people of this country by the People's Progressive Party Civic.
Sherrod, all I want to say is that the people of Guyana needs to stand up and speak out. Thank you.
Mike Sherrod, your mic.
I say thank you, Ganesh. Thank you, Christopher, for sharing the information with us this evening. Thank you, fellas.
Thank you for having us.
And I'm going to show to the Guyanese people, I'm going to show you guys how we got into this crisis. I'm going to show you guys for the bonus this evening how we really and truly got into the crisis we are in. We didn't get it by ourselves. It is the leadership that we have had that brought us into this crisis. So don't go in a place. Bear with me for 2 more minutes. Don't run away yet. I want to show y'all how we got into the crisis that we in. Listen to your boy. If you want to know how and who led us here, listen to them. And this will give you an indication. This will give you a clear indication.
Not rocket science. If everybody stays at home and you don't do anything, the infection rate will plummet. It will come down to 0 if you're locked in your homes and you don't come out. And you would have less deaths. You know, the moment you open up, that more people will become infected because they come out of their homes now. They have to go to markets. They have to get about their daily business. People are going to get infected if that happens. And then the numbers will climb. And if more people get infected, a few more will die. Unfortunately, that's the reality. But you're going to have more infection. So every day when I see a couple of people die or so, it's hurtful that our people have to die, but this is the reality. You know that consciously, but do you have an alternative? It's not rocket science. If everybody stays at home and you don't do anything, the infection rate will plummet. It will come down to 0 if you're locked in your homes and you don't come out. And you would have less deaths. You know, the moment you open up, that more people will become infected because they come out of their homes now. They have to go to markets. They have to get about their daily business. People are going to get infected if that happens. And then the numbers will climb. And if more people get infected...
Yeah, so you guys understand why we're in the position we're in. You understand why we're in a position we're in. And more people are getting infected. You know why? Because they have placed their friends in the private sector above the ordinary citizen. That is what they have done. They have placed their friends in the private sector above the ordinary citizen. And one woman just today felt that acutely when her mother fell down and died on the work site. And I want to bring you guys some of that. She felt it so acutely. Again, I'm just going to play a portion of it. Her mother fell down and died on the work site, ladies and gentlemen. And nobody wants to be here. Nobody wants to be here. I want to play some of that for you. The woman's mother dropped down and died on the work site. Here's just a portion of that. Just a portion. Y'all better share the live stream. You better share it. Here's that.
We're here live at the David Prasad Investment Limited in Happy Acres, where a security guard fell down moments ago and died. We're here with one of the relatives who would like to share what happened. What transpired?
One night, my mother called me, said she breathing short. I said, what happened? She said, Mommy, no. I said, you call MMC? Yes, she called MMC. I said, I want to tell you, them in carry her to the hospital? No. They said, oh, them in get nobody to relieve me. So I can't, they can't come before she go to the hospital. Shark blowing to come. I take long before I come, but more than half an hour because I'm waiting to see if they're going to carry her to the hospital. When I do come, even until then, and I don't know how long before then she wasn't feeling good because I got a call from my sister. So when I come with the car now, she telling me nobody didn't come yet to release she, so she can't go to the hospital. I say, hello, leave the workplace because if you dead, Today, tomorrow, I'm going to find somebody for go down there. So, and I take out my mother and carry she away at the hospital. Anyhow, she was at the hospital. She seek doctor medication and everything, and she go. Last night, she come to work. This morning, we going to get the news that my mother fall at the hospital and knock at the workplace. And knock she head. Now, you know that this woman is 65-year-old. Tell her the back. She alone walking, saying that she's Lance Corporal and she alone got to walk. A 65-year-old woman ain't even walking properly because she does get knee problem. And she alone at the back. That MMC get me mother at the back. She alone for far long and then me know is when the check will come for check. I don't know is what time he come and check. It's then he know that me mother far long and dead. That is what going on here. Them tell you gotta take vaccine. Vaccine get me mother lie down there. Because if they say vaccine, the worker them if they don't get vaccine, then can't come to work. They may send them home back and go get vaccination card. So if you don't get enough worker, tell me how can she alone work? She alone got to work? Is she alone have to work there because they didn't get enough staff? You tell me. And if you're feeling good, you got to come to work. I got the next cousin in the workplace. She foot swell up big, then she put on pumps and come. My next cousin, she see period, she got to come to work. Everything. Then me, you can't sit and then come to work. You got to come to work. That is what MMC doing, people. And if you don't get the vaccine, you got to go home. So they short the worker. So me mother alone got to work it. You tell me if video this place and see this old big place, me mother alone, 65-year-old. 65-year-old woman. You tell me, for work at this big place, video this big place, for see how me mother alone must walk down here. Eh? No. Look what's here, but drive for me mother head. Drive over.
Here we have the manager almost drove on the woman. He didn't see the body there.
Look at mother. They might knock off because they won't look at you. So big. Look how she put so big and she got come over.
At the David Prasad investment.
Look the boots that was wearing for coming up. Got the boots. And because we got to wear pumps to come because she can't stay home. She can't stay home. It's all you got to get.
So this is the scene currently in Happy Acres at MMC. Sorry, at the David Prasad investment. An MMC security worker collapsed and died.
Signs of the times, folks. Signs of the times, signs of the times, signs of the times in Ghana. You all pray for us. You all pray for us. We need it. We need it, folks. We need it. Thanks for joining. That's our program for this evening. I'm going to stick around and greet some folks. I'm going to stick around and give some folks a shout out. Folks, pray for us. Pray for us. That's our time this evening. Thank you for joining us. We know some of you running off to other places, running off to work, heading home. Thanks for joining us this evening, guys. And as we do our bit of housekeeping every evening, guys, we need your support as well. We need your support as well to keep our program going, to keep growing, to expand. We ain't banking y'all money for ourselves. I promise you that. We're not doing that. Every cent is being poured back into this program. And very shortly, we're going to give you guys a sense of what we have been doing, and what we want to do and how we want to expand. And don't say, somebody must be giving Duncan them a lot of money, so I don't need to give. Folks, we need your help. Each and every one of you who come and view the program and benefit from it, ask us how you can help. At the Cash App platform, it's $, in the ring 592. If you all know me, you all know I hate to beg. But we have to do it because we need your help. It is $, at Cash App in the ring 592. The $, in the ring 592. At PayPal, it's in the ring 592 at gmail.com. It's in the ring 592 at gmail.com. At MMG, that's our indigenous Guyanese Cash App. MMG, it's 627-6963, 627-6963. And if you've been watching us every night, you know you can also get any queries on that very number on WhatsApp, 627-6963. Any queries you have, we're going to try to give you some guidance there. We're also available at Western Union and MoneyGram. Help us to move forward, folks. Thanks for joining us. And that is our bit of housekeeping for this evening. So again, with that, our thoughts and our prayers, of course, ladies and gentlemen, go out to this family. Go out to this family here. This woman who died just today on her work site, 65-year-old Yvette Wilson. 65-year-old Yvette Wilson, an MMC security guard, collapsed and died at the David Prasad Investment Complex, East Coast, Demerara. Our thoughts and prayers go out to her family this evening. Thank you all for joining us. Wherever you joined us from this evening, folks, we got to stay in fight mode. Don't let anybody tell you anything different. Stay in that posture. Stay in that posture. We got to fight, folks. Thanks for joining us. Wherever you joined us from around the world, wherever you guys joined us from. I said joined us. I get it like the PPP. Wherever you guys joined us from, Karen McFoy, all of you pleasant folks, Amanda Daniels. If you haven't had a chance to share the live stream, do that for us. Share before you go. Don't only come and view and you suck up all the information. You eat up all the food and then you're gone and you didn't even say thanks. Share the information. And those folks who have already come on board with us to help us to move forward, to help us expand. Guys, thank you from the bottom of our heart. Guys, you may have seen, I don't know if you saw it, but folks say they're watching something on social media, they're watching something on their smart television, and then there's an ad cussing out Duncan. Duncan is saying, let's fight. And then at the end of the ad, you hear, do you want to fight or do you want to develop your country? Do you want to fight or do you want to develop your country? Folks, the people spending money on us, the folks spending money on us, we want to grow. We have to contend with them. And we're going to continue to do that. We're going to contend with them in the ring. We're going to contend with them on our terms and on our turf. We're going to contend with the Jagabats. Good to see all of you. It's Michelle Solomon, Gavin Beresford, Ramona DeRush. Good to see you, Ramona. Even though I don't agree with what you're saying there, Ramona. Good to see you. Nonetheless, thanks for joining us here in the ring. Abby, good to see you there. Abby, let me get back and see. I see, is it N.K. Roberts? How do you pronounce that surname? ICYNE. 6276963. Send me a WhatsApp message how I can pronounce that name. I see Michelle Williams is with us again this evening. Good to see you, Doc. Good to see you, Doc. Doc says we got to fight. Folks, Doc said we got to fight. And if Doc said we got to fight, you know it must be right. If Doc said we got to fight, we got to fight. We got to fight. Good to see all of you who are joining us, all the fighters, all the ringsiders. We got to fight, people. We got to fight. We got to fight. Gavin Beresford, Natasha Austin. I see also, who is Rick? Natasha Austin, who is Rick? Who is Rick? Who is Rick? Shout out to Rick. Shout out to Rick. Big shout out to Rick. Natasha Austin asking me to shout out to Rick. So Rick, respect and manners. I see Delise Gulliver is joining us as well. Delise Gulliver, good to see you there. Delise. Osman Hodge, good to see you, Osman and Roseanne Prince, all the other folks. Oswina Tappin, good to see you, Oswina. We're in the overtime just a little bit, but folks, we got to do what we got to do here in the ring. Denise Welch London, it's Denise London Welchman. Denise London Welchman, good to see you, Denise. Joan Holder, good to see you as well. And Joan, indeed, our condolences to 65-year-old Yvette Wilson's family, our home circle there. Our thoughts and prayers go out to you guys. I see Brent Mentor is with us this evening. Good to see you, Brent. Good to have Brent in the house with us. Brent is joining us all the way from Texas. Folks, we are so privileged to have you guys join us from around the world. And y'all know we're not exaggerating when we say around the world because y'all know who y'all be. We know who he is. And y'all know who y'all be and where y'all join us from. Good to have each and every one of you. Brent, thank you so much for spending this time with us all the way from Texas. I see Joel Alexander. Joel, where you're joining us from this evening. Great to see you nonetheless, Joel. Eye Candy Lisa P. Got a punch, Lisa. Chanel Chanel Mitchell, good to see you. Chanel, good to see you. Petula Boyce. And again, she's saying condolences to the family. Marlissa Parkinson Rose, good to see you, Melissa. Marlissa Parkinson, good to see you. I'm hearing that Rick, I just give a shout out to. Rick is a Jagabat. Nonetheless, we always say, all are welcome in the ring. You're a Jagabat, you're a Trenchy, you're welcome to. Yep, New FCS, PPP, who you be, WPA, LBGTQ, whoever you be, all are welcome in the ring. Quinita Fraser from St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Kitts particularly. Good to see you there, Quinita Fraser. Great to see you, Novella Noble, joining us all the way from Atlanta. Novella Noble joining us all the way from Atlanta there. Apologies. Novella Noble joining us all the way from Atlanta. You see, you confused me there, Novella. When I see the thing say Atlanta, I'm so excited to see the comment. I pressed the wrong thing. Good to see you. Natasha Austin. Natasha says, Sharon, I love you. I love back to you, Natasha. I love back to you. Good to see you, Natasha. Doreen Van Veal, great to see you. Great to see you as well, Doreen. Natasha says, I love you, Sharon. I love you, Sharon. Well, Natasha, I love back to you, girl. I love back to you. Love back to you. Rayon Norris, good to see you, Rayon. Jolette Asana, I guess I see you here. It's Michelle. The name gone by so quickly again. Candy. Good to see you, Candy. Still with us, Candy. Naleen Inderjeet. And I thank you for that blessing, Candy. Great to see all of you guys. Raquel Peters. Great to see you, Raquel. And all the other folks. The other folks. The I thirsty. The I gotta go. Kim Walker, good to see you. Ingrid King, great to see you as well. Great to see you, Ingrid. Wherever you guys are joining us from. I see Charlene Jordan is joining us from Atlanta too. Charlene Jordan joining us from Atlanta. Folks, I was in Atlanta recently. I ain't capping. I was in Atlanta recently. The only regret is that I didn't have some more time in Atlanta. That is the only regret. But we got to correct that soon. Some more time to explore the city. Some more time to get to understand the people and to meet more of the Guyanese community living there. That was my only regret. But so great having each and every one of you in the ring with us this evening. I'm still looking for some other names I can call, like Shiraz Khan. Shiraz, you mightn't like we, but we happy you here. You might not agree with us, but we happy you here, Shiraz. Rami Leander. Good to see you, Rami. Good to see you, Rami Leander. They fight them, Rami. Fight the Jagabats. Gavin Beresford, good to see you as well. And Mark Allman. I see Coretta is still with us. Coretta Millington. Raquel Peters, great to see you as well. Thank you guys for joining in the ring this evening. It has been our pleasure. As you go, guys, remember to social distance, wear your mask, sanitize, practice all the COVID-19 protocols that are in place for your health and your safety, that of your friends, family, and loved ones as well. Stay safe, guys. And we're going to see you guys right back here tomorrow evening. Thanks for joining us. Stay safe.